So, hello everybody. Hi. Great that you're here. Welcome, Matt McCabe.
Thank you.
He's the new Pendragon of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, one of the big questions is, who is Matt McCabe? And the other one would be, what's a Pendragon? What is the role of the Pendragon? So I thought we take the possibility of you being here in this beautiful camp. We are here at the Baltic Sea, which is behind us.
And Denmark's over there.
Yes, Denmark's over there. And we're still in Germany. And we talk a little bit.
Well, it's I'm still trying to get the hang of what the Pendragon is. Dave gave an amazing analogy at the summer gathering of it's a bit like Motorhead. The chosen chief is Lemmy out the front, giving it everything. The scribe is the drummer at the back, keeping everything on the straight and narrow. And the Pendragon is the lead guitarist, who occasionally steps forward, does a shredding solo, and then steps back again. Which is slightly alarming because I don't play guitar, so I'm certainly not good enough to give a shredding solo. But I think it's an interesting time, and I look forward to finding out more about the role. But and so defending the chosen chief, defending the Guernsey, the course that the Ogle puts out. I'm looking forward to it.
And for the defending of the chosen chief, you also will have a sword and a gourd.
The Duard.
The Duard.
Yes. Yes. Luckily, I don't have to play it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Kieran will keep playing it, and I get to look after the Order's sword. My son, for Father's Day, bought a Japanese stone for sharpening swords.
Ooh.
But I don't think I'm supposed to sharpen it.
Well, we will see. It's nice to have a sharp sword, even in spirit.
Yes, a sharp wit, I think is
yes.
Yes.
And I know you for quite a while now. We've met in Iona, what was it, 14 or something, 15,
yes.
something like that?
Yeah, we bonded in the torrential rain.
Yes.
Walking back and got absolutely drenched. Yes, that's when we met each other. So, in terms of who's Matt McCabe, which was your other question. So, I think I'm number 5 or something. Somebody gave me the address of the Order because they just bought a copy of Prediction magazine or whatever it was, and I wrote off. And and it's very often you get that comment that when the material arrived, it felt like I'd come home, and it really did. I was really desperate for a structured learning around sort of a spiritual tradition that was kind of native to the British Isles, and so that's where it began for me. And then I have done quite a lot for the Order.
Yes. So
yeah.
When was it that you being number in the top 10 who was subscribing to the Order?
Yeah, that was 1989.
It's quite a while.
Yeah, and I whizzed through the Bardic grade, and then took a little bit longer with the Ovate grade, and then I was 7 years in the Druid grade. But I think it always seems to be how life interrupts your studies, I think, is the thing. But I was working in television, so I became the sort of media advisor to Philip, and then started doing media myself on behalf of the Order. And I also got made one of the first Ovate tutors. So back in the olden days, there was only Philip was the only tutor, and then I think I was the first bloke to be an Ovate tutor. And then my claim to fame was that I was tutor to Adrian and JJ.
Okay,
so two celebrities of the Order. So I was their tutor. So that was my claim to fame. And so a lot else has gone on.
Yes.
So in say 2000, we rewrote the ceremonies. There was 3 of us who did that, and that was an extraordinarily tense experience.
So all the subscribers now to the course are getting the rituals. Those were done by you and two other people.
Yeah, we sort of updated them. We didn't change it enormously, but so it's still kind of the Western mystery tradition infused with Celtic spirituality and Celtic motifs. So, but when I started, you called archangels into the quarters. So it's quite
I think
different.
it was only the group ceremonies written down, and what you also did, or your group did, was having these solo ceremonies.
Well, I think no, we re-edited the 8 seasonal ceremonies.
Yes.
So that was quite, and that's what we're doing over the next couple of days is the ritual workshops, level 1, and so that's quite good. And then in fact I ended up joining Penny Billington just after 2010 in doing the ritual workshops, and I kind of got back into Druidry. So I think giving me the Pendragon job is a reward for sticking around a long time.
Yeah, coming back to the ritual workshops, because you're also here to facilitate the ritual 1 workshop for some people here, which is really great. Yes, thank you for that. And so with these ritual workshops, what are they about?
Well, it's what do we do in Obod Druidry and why we do it that way. So if you go to other orders, Druid orders, that they'll do it slightly differently. So what is it about the way we do it in Obod that is different, and why do we do it in the order we do it? And these were all questions I was asking when we were sort of going through it, and I was saying, why do we do this there? So it was Susan, now Lillian, who was kind of leading the work. She'd run a Kabbalistic school in New York, so she understood magical practice, and I kept asking these questions, rather simple questions, and so she said, we have to teach this, we have to explain why we do it the way we do it. And I think that's and that grounding in ritual practice is something that I still I really get a lot out of, and teaching it, and I think when you're coming to any kind of indigenous tradition, the magical practice is really important. And what are we doing energetically, as well as all the learning that goes on in the Gwersi? How do we do this magical practice as well? So,
Fascinating.
you have to ask me in a couple of days' time whether it was any good.
Yeah, yes. So what's also what was fascinating seeing in your life was that there was one time where you moved from London, or the area of London, to Bath, and you were offered to look after an apple orchard.
I planted it.
You planted
I
it?
created
Oh wow!
it, yes.
Oh wow!
So it was. So my best friend was killed on September the 11th,
Okay.
and that kind of made me kind of reframe everything I was doing, and I dropped out of the tutoring and the media stuff and handed that over to Aid, and in the end, and I just wanted to focus on sort of community druidry and what it meant to be a druid in a community the community where I was living, and so we started doing lots of community projects, especially sort of environmental projects, and one of them involved. They wouldn't let us plant apple trees, so I said, well, what if we espalier them? And so then we train them how to grow. We don't let them become trees. And the council sort of kind of went, all right. So then I went off and learnt about apple tree grafting and training and pruning. And I absolutely loved it. So we planted this at the end of this part of this project in the community, and then when we moved to Bath, I just thought, well, I wonder if there's any money in apples, and so heritage apples, and even if there isn't, to be able to have an orchard of old and rare varieties was really appealing, because it means you're keeping those varieties going. They for whatever reason they're not commercially viable. So apple trees is kind of my thing. And has been now for some years. Somebody's mowing their.
They
They just come very close, but.
Yeah.
I teach. I do apple tree grafting workshops, and every February, and I love it. It's magic. It's absolute magic. These are the things I like to do. Funny enough, I was talking to Floriana at the summer gathering, and she said, "What do you do that brings you joy?" And I couldn't think of anything at the time. Just straight from work, I was going, joy? Joy, that seems an unnecessarily privilege. But then I was thinking, oh no, it's the ritual workshops and apple tree grafting. That's what brings me joy. So, Anyway, what else you got on your list of questions?
Yeah, what else? Talking a bit more about the Pendragon. So yeah, we had this defending of the chosen chief and the Guerci, or the teachings.
Yeah.
The sword. Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the things when I first got to know Emer. I thought, ooh, somebody lives in a castle in Ireland. Oh, yeah. I've got to go and stay there. Yeah. So I kind of collared her and said, look, can we come over? So an old Gits road trip, and we'll come and stay and do some jobs for you, show us around, that sort of thing. And bizarrely and amazingly, she agreed. So me, Bodge, Aid, and it was Arthur Billington on the first trip. We all piled into my car and went to Ireland. And what was interesting was, and Emer said this, she did have that. She had that moment 2 weeks before we arrived of going, I don't really know these men coming in, and I've invited them into my house, and what am I doing? And then she said, well, they're druids and they seem pretty good. They seem pretty cool. And we turned up, and she said we were absolutely the loveliest men she'd ever, in the company. Yeah. And we did loads of jobs for her and all that. And she took us around Sacred Sites of Ireland, and it was an absolute blast, and we had a lovely time. But what she couldn't tell us was that she'd already been chosen as the chosen chief, and that was really nice. So obviously she had this massive secret, but it was really nice that we got to go and be friends with her without the sort of the whole chosen chief bit. So that was really lovely, and we've been back every year. She's so kindly said we could come back every year. So this year I was ill, unfortunately, but I did manage to get her back door painted red. I did the DIY bit. Okay. Unfortunately, I was ill for the rest of it, but I did. And that's been a chance to get to know Emer really well, and just I love the way she approaches everything. And I think it's fantastic that there's obviously having a woman as the chosen chief, really important. I think the whole, that shift to Ireland at a time when Ireland is kind of having this massive explosion of their native tradition, I think is really, really important. I think because essentially English Druidry was founded by a Welshman, and most of what we do is kind of got that Welsh theme to it. And that sort of the mysteries of Cerridwen in that particularly in the Bardic Raid, and I think that's kind of it makes good sense to sort of go and give Ireland the central space now. Obviously, so I'd say that as a McCabe, which is an Irish name, but I think it's also fascinating that in the revival, when the antiquarians were reviving things in England in the 1500s and looking at all these old sites and writing about them. It was also happening in Germany as well, in the Rhineland, which I thought I didn't know until very recently. So this whole revival in Germany as well is really fascinating. So, again, really privileged to be here again. I've been over a few times and I love it. So, it's a real privilege. So I think there's lots going on as the old kind of political power church controls drop away, that something's coming forward, and we say at the beginning of our ceremonies, by all that is fair and free, and by the power of the land within and without, by all that is fair and free, and those words I think are still tremendously important in what we do, and it's part of this liberal democracy that allows us to explore our native traditions that we won in the last century, and it's so precious, and we need to hang on to it. delved into politics there. Just
Yes.
slightly dipped my toe into politics.
Yes, you did.
I told you I did the tea
Yeah.
with the Druid and delved into politics, and there was a complaint, so I wasn't asked back. And also I had a beer instead of tea.
But you are on the council in Bath, or you're dipping in politics?
I'm an elected politician to Bath and North East Somerset. So, and I have responsibility for planning and housing and heritage, but also that's housing services, so homelessness. So, I have a real kind of there's a weight on my shoulders in terms of trying to make sure we build enough houses so that people have a home. You know, basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs, shelter, somewhere you can call your own is part. So that's part of my community Druidry. You know, it's that being of service to my local community. So now I get to be of service to my Druid community as well.
Yes, and you were just telling me that for the solstice you celebrated in Bath in that
in the
Bath
circus. Yeah, so if people know Bath, we've got this amazing Georgian architecture, which is from 1700s, and we got the Royal Crescent, and then just along there we got a circle. It's called the Circus, and it's a circle of buildings. But the guy who designed it was claimed as the chosen chief of the ancient order, but he actually designed the size of the circus to be the size of the outer boundary at Stonehenge. So you and in the middle there's a little grove of trees. Well, they're massive trees, but all the tour guides come in and they do this clapping, and you hear echo all the way around. So of course, to do a ceremony in the middle of the circus, and as soon as you chant the Arwen, it's bouncing off all these buildings coming back at you, and it's quite special. But I had to say I was absolutely terrified for some reason. I don't really do public ceremony in a big way. I leave that to Aidan. The Bristol Druids are very good at public ceremony, but I inherited from the secular order the Bard of Bath competition. So I run the Bard of Bath competition, and I get a really fancy title with that, which is the chief Druid of the Gorseth of Bards of Caerbadon.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So basically, it's just a fancy title for he organises a poetry competition, but also this they did the public ceremony in the circus. So it's sort of taken me 3 years to sort of take over, get the Bard of Bath competition up and running, and then and start a seed group. And actually, we did the ceremony, and we're now a grove with a Thulis grove as well, because we have 3 Druids. 3 Druid grade members, so we're a grove.
Great. Yes,
I couldn't do it. I have to say, I couldn't do any of this without a really supportive wife who's sitting here. I'd just be a mess. So.
Well, I think with you it's giving and taking, because I also know that you are also supporting her in the things she does. So.
Well, I hope she thinks.
So seeing you or experiencing you living Druidry, I really enjoy that, and I've learned a lot of you. And one of the things you told me, I think it was not even in Iona, I don't know, I can't remember, but being on beaches, it's so important because we're in a liminal space.
Liminal space, yeah, between the water and the land, and sort of those dusk moments as well. We're heading to dusk soon.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely, and there's this sort of bank here, so you can't see very far that way, but you've got a massive view that way.
Yes.
But, liminal spaces like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That really stuck with me.
Oh,
thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for not inviting me to strip off naked and go swimming in the sea.
Yeah, no.
I appreciate that. Do you want to do that? We did that on Iona. I don't do that.
Yeah, no.
The Atlantic was pretty cold.
Yes. But here we are, it's warmer because you can walk in a long time.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's told to be very hot, but perhaps wading in the shoes. But now we're sitting here.
I did bring my trunk, so I might give it a little try tomorrow, especially if they're supposed to be very hot tomorrow night. I might try.
Yeah, we will try that.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
That's all right. Did anyone have any questions?
Yes, do you have any questions?
Questions from the audience?
Tell the person with the lawnmower to sod off.
Well, hopefully they've gone back the other side of their house now with their ride-on mower.
I'm surprised I've done the fucking lawn left.
We hope that the microphones didn't catch that too much. Yeah. So any questions?
Okay.
Okay.
So the bit I stuck in to the ceremonies that I really like is we gather together as equals here in our physical form here upon the earth. Each presence is a blessing, and every breath we take, we breathe light and life into this circle. And it's one of those things. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the order, because it's an experiential tradition. What makes us all equal is there's no head in the circle. There's no thing in the circle, but all of our experiences are equally valid, and that's what modern Druidry is about.
Oh, that's very beautiful.
So your experiences are what matters.
That's a nice way of ending this interview. So thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Yes, thank you for being here.
I hope you're as pleased with me tomorrow on Wednesday evening
We will
after.
see. So thank you.
Thanks for coming. Do you need to spin it round and get a shot of the audience?
Yes, I think that's a nice idea. And
I have to get a shot of Mrs. McCabe waving. Liminal space.